Prince of Persia, released in 2008, took the long-running game series in a brave new direction, and boy, did it look good. But those stunning visuals couldn't hide some glaring problems. Gone was the trademark time rewind function. Instead, we got a magical helper who saved us each time we made a mistake. What? Mum might have liked her, but for the rest of us, she made the game way too easy. No wonder it didn't sell.
The worst part is there's no one else to blame.
With the Forgotten Sands, the developers have hit the rewind button and returned to the format of old, hoping to win back fans and make sure our favourite prince reclaims his throne. OK, story. Previously, we revealed that it revolves around the prince's efforts to help his brother Malik fight an army of undead sand demons. But the story's much more than that. It starts with the prince visiting Bro's palace, only to find it under heavy attack. So far, so familiar. Well, it's about to fall, so Malik, Bro, decides if he can't have the palace, no one can, and releases the undead army locked away in its vaults. Big mistake.
We have to get out!
The newly released Sand Army threatens to consume not only the kingdom, but the entire world. Gulp. The only way to get the genie back in the bottle? Reunite two halves of an amulet. To do this, you'll face the palace defences. Battle through multitudes of monsters. Use your newly bestowed special abilities. And stop your brother being consumed by the dark powers he released. But don't worry, you've all the time in the world, don't you? Princey Boy is the original freerunner, and he's going to need all his parkour skills to get past the war-torn palace's many traps. Good job he'll receive some additional special powers. He'll learn to manipulate water, freeze it for a limited time at least. Then there's his savage attack, good for getting across otherwise impassable gaps. And later in the game, he'll learn how to temporarily rebuild lost sections of the palace. Magic! But even with these powers, things aren't going to go easy. Occasionally, awkward camera angles and an over-fiddly control system mean the power you use most is time rewind. With his nimble ability, his strength in melee, and his swordsmanship, the prince is a formidable opponent. But when he needs a little more oomph, he can call upon his elemental powers to assist him in the toughest of battles. Previously, we've covered the ice attack, the stone armor defense, and the wind cyclone. Now we bring you the underwhelming, to say the least, fire attack. This leaves a hot trail behind the prince. Circling the enemies traps them, and one touch of the trail inflicts fire damage. This at first was as impressive as indoor fireworks. But there is an upgrade system triggered by the number of beasts you slay, so hopefully with an upgrade this may become as useful as our favourite, the cyclone. The palace is also home to many puzzles, which of course our prince must solve. Here he's looking for the entrance to a forgotten city. Only by solving a series of pretty tricky statue puzzles can the prince unlock the entrance. These thinking sections definitely provided some much-needed respite from the climbing and fighting.
These things.
You think Razia might have warned me about that. I suppose if I were 1,000 years old, I'd forget things too. Like giant collapsing staircases that could kill people.
So, verdict time on Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands. Level design is just so. Working out your route will get you thinking hard, and the puzzles more so. The new freeze feature, great. Just a shame the controls and camera are still a little annoying, a series trait. Some might find the fighting sections a little repetitive, but we enjoyed finding inventive ways of dealing with foes. The elemental powers, they're a little annoying, but do help with the crowds. Adding replay value are some unlockable characters, like Ezio here. A couple of challenge modes, time trial and enemy tides are given as rewards too. Let's cut the jabber. If you like Prince of Persia, you'll feel right at home here. Not groundbreaking, but a loving return to familiar territory. 8 out of 10.